Bleeding is a brand new horror film that was originally released in 2024 at a festival in the UK called Grimfest. Very fitting title for the kind of film that this is, which I will get into. And then it was recently released in June 2025, streaming for North America and I think everywhere. But I got a chance to watch this streaming, obviously, and I had just heard of it very recently. I hadn't heard of it before when it was at the festival or anything like that. But I did notice that there were some reviews released like a few months ago. So obviously there were other reviewers that got to see it, way before this. But this is a very, very unique film. I had a really good time with it, and I hope that this at some point gets a physical media release because this is the kind of film that is a hidden gem and I would absolutely like to own in my collection. What we have going on here, this was directed and written by Andrew Bell, and this also has Andrew Bell in it as a character, so he acts in it as well. And it's about a world where vampires exist, and vampire blood is used as a drug, basically. So people sell it and get high off of it. It's kind of similar to heroin because it's injected. Now there is this form of vampire blood that is turned into like a kind of thing, like a cocaine substance that they call dust, and they are also able to snort that. So it's like a milder version of it, I guess. But obviously, the allegory for this film is addiction. I mean, it's right in the description. It's written on this film's sleeve. It's an allegory to addiction, 100%. And we have this kid who is basically addicted to it, and he had a bag in his room, and then somebody destroys that bag, and then he owes for it kind of thing because he was dealing, and the drug dealer is basically after him for the money and for what he owes him kind of thing. It turns into this like running away from the drug dealer or blood dealer in this case. But this film is very dark and very bleak. That's why I said Grimfest is a good name for a festival where this film would play at, because my gosh, this film is bleak and dark and depressing as shit. I mean, when it comes to the score and the cinematography is like dark and gray, and everything is just so grimy and like grayish. Like it's just so depressing, and it feels like a friggin' funeral the entire movie. And also we're dealing with addiction, like we're dealing with people suffering from being hooked on vampire blood. And the thing is, you, if you overdose on the blood, you turn, basically. Like there's a fine line between the high and then the withdrawal, and then you turn into a vampire. But the vampires in here, it's not really explained very well, or I'm an idiot and I missed something. That could totally be the case too. But I find that like I don't understand what the like how the vampires become what they become, because it just seems very like when they turn, they it's very like seizure like. They start hissing and like convulsing, and they do walk too, but they don't necessarily feed. At least I haven't, like, I didn't notice that throughout the film. There was never a point where the vampires turn and feed. It's just they turn and suffer. Like the light obviously makes them suffer, it makes them burn, and it makes them convulse even more. So they need the darkness and everything. But it bends the rules a little bit for traditional vampirism. I found it. They are vampires, but they don't. They're not the classic traditional ones. You could say they're more like overdosed. Like what a person would experience going through withdrawal is kind of like what these vampires go through, except very, very extreme kind of thing. And however, like I said, they do turn. They are vampiric. Like they do hiss and they do, act like vampires, kind of thing. But yeah, it's these kids on the run for the most part, and the sorry, the director and the writer, Andrew Bell, he plays the drug dealer named Dustin, and he's ruthless and vicious, and he plays his character very very well. He's very unlikable on purpose, and the kid who's hooked, he has a cousin too. So you're basically following these two guys, and they're very close because they're cousins, and but they also have like a lot of tension with each other because one's an addict and the other one kind of, I think he got off of it or he was never on it in the first place. I'm not 100% sure, but they're always clashing and there's a lot of like misunderstandings between the two. And there's a lot of moments in this film that happen that become misunderstandings, which makes characters behave in ways that the audience knows. How do I explain this? Like, a character will get into a conflict with somebody because they think that that person did something when the audience knows that that person is actually innocent and didn't do anything, but the character thinks they did. So a lot of those moments happen, a lot of misunderstandings happen between characters that I found cool, like the way that it was written and the way that it was directed. I found that really cool. There is also a female character in this that gets involved in like the middle of the film. She's introduced. I won't say involved how, but it's these two guys, and then there's a female character, and then there's the drug dealer and his goons and everything. But this film also says fuck a lot. I don't want to forget that this film says fuck so much. It's very very, I'd say, overused, but yeah, there's a lot of fucks in this film. Not that I'm offended or anything, but it's just it's a lot, and it's one of those that's just like, it's like I recently watched Nora, and that film was just like fucking cunt and everything so many times. This film's kind of like that, or Uncut Gems, for anybody who's seen that one. But yeah, it's quite realistic, and I like the allegory that they did. I like the not the message, but the way they made vampire blood seem like drugs. It's very like Daybreakers and Stakeland, especially the darkness of Stakeland mixed with like the plot of Daybreakers. So it's kind of like that in a sense, but good stuff. Good stuff. It's a hidden gem for sure, and I highly suggest checking it out because there's not a lot of films like it. So it's worthwhile checking just for that. But I think I rambled off enough on that one. Go check it out if you haven't already, or tell me what you think if you've seen it already. It is streaming now, so go check it out somewhere. And subscribe to Morgan Film Fan if you'd like to listen to my voice or if you like my film reviews. I'll be back with more soon, so stay tuned for those. Check out what's on the channel already. Stay tuned for what's coming. Until next review, have a good one. Take care and cheers.